My name is Saad Qureshi. I directed A Great Lamp, and I was voted nicest boy in the 5th grade.
I'm Max Wild. I cut it, and I also acted in it.
And I'm Donald Monroe, and I'm the cinematographer.
The writing aspect of it was, we never watched movies before, and so we didn't know like writers were like a thing. And so the way we approached this movie was literally like, they all came down to Wilmington, right? We worked on it in North Carolina. And it's kind of like when we were in high school and you just have a bunch of friends making a movie. No one really cares who's saying what or who's doing what. We're just doing this thing together, and we all kind of just talked to each other, and that was how we wrote it. And so when it came time for the writing credit, we were like, well, we literally did not write anything down, and so I guess we can't put in a writing credit.
You wrote a blueprint.
We had an outline, and so we wrote an outline. We had like some like vague idea of what we were gonna do, but like bullet points, like thematic touchstones and stuff.
I'm gonna die one day. Like, there's not a whole lot. Like, man, I'm just trying to have fun. Like, it was. We went on coffee dates. Like, we just showed up at a cafe. We just like chatted for a while, and then we filmed the thing. And it was like, you like talk to people acting. It's like, what do you want to do? I wanna sing at a karaoke bar, Toyland, wearing a Crime is Good shirt. What do you want to do? I kind of want to throw this thing at a wall. I want to wheat paste these things. Like, it was just literally, what do you want to do on camera? And then weaving that into what the movie ended up being. There is like a scattered element to the movie, and I think it's because there is, when you usually make a movie, you have like a boss and you do what he tells you, or she, and like with this movie, it was very like, there were 7 people working on it, there were 7 different intentions, and they are all in the movie, and they fit and they contradict a little bit, right? Like I had my own intentions that we didn't all necessarily share, but you can just do that. Like, everybody thinks there's like this rule, like we have to crush the whole movie down into one visual idea and everyone just obeys the one idea. But it's like, you literally don't. Like, says who? Like, I don't know, it worked out. I would recommend it. Give it a shot.
No one in the industry is a writer. You're either a filmmaker or you're not. It's like a film is the thing, you know what I mean? And so we were at the WGA last week for something. And well, you weren't there. There's no way you'd ever be there. But we were all there, and I gave this speech about writing to someone who I didn't know who they were, and they asked me about writing, and I said, "Oh, we didn't write the movie. Writing's boring, blah blah blah." Turns out they like work for the WGA, and they were like, "Maybe not the best speech for the WGA." And I was like, "Well, this is my thought process: is that you either like talk out loud into a paper, and that's the writing, or what we did was we just talked to each other and we just remembered what we said." And it's basically like we're the papers walking around, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like we are the script, And then writing that way means that you don't ever get beholden to whatever the blueprint was, which is what screenplays are, just blueprints. You just have the movie. And so that's why the movie's so wacky and crazy, is because there's no logical like straps on it from like some paper that we did. It was just, all right, we made the movie, here's the footage, let's pretend that we just found the footage. We're not beholden to what we did with it, and now let's just make whatever is the best thing to do with it. And so the writing goes from the beginning all the way to the editing. There's no like delineation for the writing, you know what I mean?
Basically, we would just show up, and we knew what we needed to accomplish for the day based on that outline. And, the film had to move from one point to another, and that was like the goal. And we all knew what the goal was. As long as we accomplished our goal, we were on track. I think
so
like a lot of
whatever happens in between is fine as long as we get there, sort of thing.
Yeah. So a lot of things just came up naturally. Like the stand-up bit was kind of a band-aid, but there are lots of different band-aids in the movie. It's just
a lot of band-aids.
A lot of band-aids.
They're good-looking band-aids, though.
Not as good as this one.
If all you ever make is like good shit, then like your next thing has to be good, and then you're like frozen up and scared to do the next thing because it might not be as good as you have to make a bad movie. Like, you should do a bad job sometime. I don't know, it's like healthy, right? Like, you should suck a lot, I think.
We suck a lot.
We suck plenty.
No one would hire us, and so we made a movie on our own. And it's kind of like the story of A Great Lamp. So the thing about Great Lamp, I'm not sure if it came through or not, is that it was made with like no money, and like $9,000, which is basically no money. And the idea is that like, rather than wait for someone to give us permission to make some cool thing, we just thought we would just like do it. So I guess like the failure was like failure and rejection. Art, that's a good thing people talk about. Art is all about rejection, suffering, whatever. Like, our idea is that no, like the suffering can like make you want to make the art, but like the art should be fun. Like, you shouldn't be suffering while you're doing that part. Otherwise, why would you do that? Like, do something else.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, like Max is gonna die. I do want to mention though, my biggest failure, or not failure, but like rejection. One time, my film school threatened to sue me. So I guess that was a pretty big low spot. But I'm seeing them on Sunday. They invited me, so
You were gonna sue him too.
both of us.
Yeah, you were gonna both get sued.
But now we're all invited to see them on Sunday.
Oh, I almost got expelled for also making a movie at film school.
We're the poster children, but
Yeah, once I was graduating and I got permission to make this movie, but I guess it wasn't real permission, and it was like for out of school stuff, and I like did it, and the dean told me I wasn't gonna graduate. Maybe I don't know. That was like really. But now she's actually here in Park City, and she invited us to a thing. I'm not going. Filmmaking is only 100 years old. It's the youngest art form in existence. No one knows how to make them correctly. We're all frauds. Anyone can literally do it. It's fake. It's all fake. It's 100 years old. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not an ancient art form.
and so like all you need are friends who you are good to. Be good to your friends. That's what I would say.
Oh yeah.
Because we know so many people who are not good to their friends, and now they have no friends. And we have no friends. You cannot work with people for free. And so be good to your friends. That's what I would say. But also for real, I guess, is that 15 seconds, I can't count time, but I would say like don't like watch movies, do other things. Like the secret to this movie is that we don't watch movies. This movie was born out of video games and anime. And so that's the trump card we have for a great lamp.